Welcome to this bonus episode of Unstrung Archery with me, Neil, and Nye. Today, the new indoor classifications have been released, and we're going to break down, compare, and give opinions on the new changes as we look forward to starting the new indoor season. Hello and welcome to another episode, an actual bonus episode of Unstrung Archery with myself, Neil, and I've got Nye, as usual, over here with me.
Hi guys, apologies in advance for any audio issues on my end. Because it was a spur of the moment podcast, I left my headphones at work.
Yeah, as usual. Now coming in there with the bad audio. So we're going to try and get through these new indoor classification documents that has just gone out around about an hour ago from AGB. So let's just get stuck straight into it. So we've had a new announcement. The indoor classifications have now dropped. They are now public, and they look fantastic. My first impression of just having a quick glance over them. So the reason behind the update of the indoor classification, according to Archery GB, they didn't feel like it aligned the four sets of divisions and bow styles that are available in Archery GB rules and World Archery rules. So they feel like it was mainly targeted towards compound and recurve, because if you haven't seen the old indoor classifications, they were one score fits all. So obviously it was H through to A, and you had a score that you had to get specifically for that round, and that would give you the classification. Obviously, you had to do it 3 times. After your third attempt, that's where you got your classification from. By the end of the actual season, you'd get your highest classifications, and that would be your ranking, your actual classification for indoor. But it made it very difficult for people that were shooting barebow and longbow, and even the juniors, different age groups, they obviously all struggled as well, because they still had to hit this score in order to get their classification. So how do you feel about those changes now?
I'm actually in favour of them, because we had, I'll take for instance what you said before about longbow and barebow. I just taken up longbow earlier this year, and I shot it in a couple of competitions. And yeah, it got me Archer 1, indoor Archer 1 now on this new system. But in the old system, I would have been a G Archer, because it doesn't account for because of how everything got accounted for. So I think it will give people more incentive on these other I say on other bow styles, because recurve Archer first and foremost. Yeah, it'll give people more incentive, hopefully, to try and push themselves towards that next score boundary.
Yeah, definitely. And the way that these new indoor classification work is a very similar way to the outdoor ones as well. So it's not going to come to, especially with the newer archers when they're coming into the clubs and whatnot, they get all explained the outdoor classifications. Well, obviously, depending on which time of year they actually start, obviously. But if they come in during the outdoor, they'll learn all the outdoor classifications, and then they go to a completely different system for indoor. With the new system, it's very similar, as I said, to the new outdoor classifications, which me personally, I find that's great, because there's no different in understanding. It's uniform across the board. You go from outdoor season, where you've been doing all these classifications, into indoor season, and you're basically just doing the same thing again. Obviously, give or take a few differences. So, are you happy there, Nye, that that you don't have to remember how the different systems work anymore?
Yeah, because the letters, much as I could see what people were trying to achieve with them, didn't have the same meaning to myself as an archer. So I'd always be looking for me. For me, it was always originally just getting my third class was always my goal outdoors. But then indoors, it's sort of okay. What does that mean? Sort of thing. So in terms of classification, so it didn't hold the same meaning. Whereas now that I'm chasing down, I've got my goal set to like competing. I've got my goal set to try and get me indoor bowman 1 or not, no, sorry, indoor bowman 3. I get my scores for that now from the indoor season. So I'll be glad to see the change happen.
Yeah, and I think going back to the, having some meaning to them, I go around to schools and stuff like that and try and do talks with people and whatnot about getting into archery and stuff like that. And I take my quiver with me. Most people, they will have their badges on them on the quiver. I do myself as well. And the amount of people that have come up to me and asked me about what the badges mean, and it's literally just got a giant D on it, and it's people, especially in the school area, they'll if they look at like some GCSEs, at least the old fashioned GCSEs, D wasn't that great. So you try and put some meaning to a letter. It's not. There's no real meaning behind it. It's just at the end of the day a letter. People that aren't necessarily within the archery scene, they might not understand it. It's a lot more difficult to explain to people. Whereas you actually put some words with it, especially if you have Master Bowman on a badge on your quiver, they're going to understand that because, Master at Arms and stuff like that is a well-known thing outside of archery, both with the with shooting and whatnot. So people are going to understand that more, especially Grandmaster Bowman. Come on.
And Grandmaster Bowman has always been the go-to, the gold standard as well.
Exactly. And this puts Grandmaster Bowman back on top as well, because obviously they've not got the Elite Master Bowman for the indoors.
Then again, though, it shows where the scheme, the introduction of both the changing of the schemes for outdoors and indoors. When my biggest bugbear about them is the fact that why not just switch the names of Elite Master Bowman and Grandmaster Bowman back around? So same score thresholds and things, but keep Grandmaster Bowman as the top on the gold standard, so to speak. If you think that that's the only bugbear, that's the sort of only real bugbear I can find with the system, then you've done something right when it's sort of when that's my bugbear with what's been done.
Yeah, so let's have a quick chat about how this is aligning with the outdoor classifications. So the key differences compared to the outdoor system, there is, as I said, no Elite Master Bowman in the classification for indoors. All the classifications, including the indoor Master Bowman and the indoor Grandmaster Bowman, are administered at club level and not by Archery GB. So it'll be your record officers at your club dealing with those claims for those particular things. Whereas the outdoor classifications, I believe, anything higher than a Bowman tier, so into your Master Bowman tiers, they won't be administered at your club. They are done and claimed via Archery GB. It won't be the case for your indoor ones.
Yeah, that's my understanding as well. So hopefully speed things up for us to actually be able to give people badges right away, and also reduce the burden on Archery GB as well.
Now, the volume of arrows is different to the outdoor classifications, whereas for your archer tier you will need only 10 dozen, and I believe for the correct me if I'm wrong on this one now, isn't it 12 dozen that you need for the outdoor for the archer tiers?
Yeah, the archer tier it's 12 dozen, so
it's something like that anyway.
Then again, my brain still works on the pre-update ones where it was three outdoor rounds, so three indoor ones. So my brain still hasn't fully translated across to the new way of working. So
yeah, so coming from a developer's, obviously I'm an app developer myself. I've not actually done an archery app. Maybe I should do one. But coming from a developer's point of view as well, having consistency between those indoor and outdoors makes developing apps for this kind of thing so much easier as well. So hopefully we'll see the apps get updated with these new classification methods as well a lot faster. So yes, the 10 dozen for archer tier, everything higher is only 15 dozen. So that aligns the Bowman and Master Bowman tiers at the same amount of arrows. The only difference there is Master Bowman tier. So when I say Master Bowman, I'm referring to indoor Master Bowman and indoor Grandmaster Bowman. The Master Bowman tier has to be done at a record status competition. So that's either UKRS or WRS. So if you're chasing those, go for those record status competitions. The Bowman is just any competitive event. So basically anything with a judge there. So that includes novice competitions as well. So for those of you out there that, are only just getting started in competition, as a novice, you aren't missing out on getting your Bowman tier. Now, it would be interesting to see at which level novices are going to be competing at, because obviously before we moved to the new classification system, it was usually second class in the Archer second class classification that people used to stop at for novice. So from my experience of novice competitions, it was 2 years or 1 year in some areas, or no higher than Archer second class. I haven't seen that carry over. I don't know what your experience is with that now, but I've not seen a classification come into novice competition since the changes.
Looking at where I sit, feeling on my own abilities and things, I'm somewhere between. I'm generally speaking in the indoor Archer 1 category, and pushing in indoor Bowman 3 if I do everything right. So I would have thought indoor Bowman 2 would be about that sort of, and I'm sort of outdoors this season. I've been on the fringes of getting very, very, very low, what would have been second class scores in previous. So I don't know whether you'd want to just give people a chance to go for whether you want to keep those thresholds in place.
Yeah. So I think this is we've got an upcoming episode with Bob Wild, who is a tournament organizer for Ashton Bowman. So I think maybe this is something we discuss over on that episode as well. I know obviously both of myself and Nye, we're obviously tournament organisers ourselves. So these are the kind of questions that should be asked to get back to novice competitions being at the level that they should be. There have been a couple of instances lately at novice shoots. I mean, I'm not a novice anymore. I've been shooting far too long. Classification-wise. I know, Nye's the same. Been shooting, what was it, 22 years or something like that?
Yeah, 22 years now. We'll give the... We'll have to have a game. Talking of that, we'll have to have Unstrung Archery Bingo. How long does it take me to finish? I've been shooting 22 years.
Definitely happens more than once a competition, from what I've heard. So my bingo card as a judge would be full very quickly when it comes to what Nye gets up to. Anyway, so this means that for the first time, two major aspects of indoor and outdoor systems are aligned. Each age group has got its own classification table now, and anybody that's achieving higher classifications have got to do it at a certain standard of event, which is I feel that's fantastic for the sport in general. So hats off to Archery GB. I think these changes are going to be very welcome in the community. I'm head over heels for them already, and I'm already planning on where I'm going to end up in indoor season. I think, according to the equivalency charts, I'm a D class currently for indoor, which would put me at second class, indoor Bowman second class. Unfortunately, I've never shot an indoor competition, so the likelihood of me actually getting that is quite slim. But this hopefully will promote more competition. What do you feel, Nye?
I hope so, and even if it just gets more people actually shooting the indoor, even if the only sort of takeaway from the scheme changing is that people shoot more rounds on the club night, that in itself can only be a good thing as well. So, but I'd hope to see more people go for competition as well, because they might shoot all the rounds, might get used to shooting rounds on a club night and then realise hey, you know what? I can shoot around. I'll go for it. If they can, we can get people out and competing, or getting to. See, it's always. I don't know what it's like for yourself when you're judging, Neil, but for me, competing, it's always nice to get to meet new people as well. Get to spend time with people from different clubs and seeing how they do things as well. So also, let's not forget this podcast has come about as a result of us two both attending competitions as well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's how we met, was through competition. I can't remember which competition it was that we.
We started talking in the build-up to my American last year, and then we met at we met at Lancashire, and we met at Lancashire outdoors in person for the first time. But we were talking about we've been talking a bit in the build-up to that as well.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, well, I think that sounds about right. To be fair.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the everything's looking great on these indoor classifications. I feel like it's all positive. There's nothing really that I would say is wrong. It's definitely leaps and bounds ahead of what they used to be, especially for barebow and longbow. And I think that in itself is going to promote more competition from our barbowers. Yes,
important for juniors because it gives everyone. It'll hopefully give more juniors more chance to make progress through the badges as well.
Yeah, it's extremely significant change for the juniors because they're not chasing the same as scores as adults, never have done, and having that expectation of there is this score and if you beat it you get this badge. When that score is set up for a compound recurve adult, it's not necessarily the easiest achievement to get. And you put that in the hands of a longbow or a barebow junior. And I'm just thinking of my daughter, who shoots barebow. I know how much she struggles indoors, and she puts a lot of pressure on herself when she's indoors as well. And I think trying to achieve those classifications for her indoors was extremely difficult. And I think hopefully now this will give her the confidence to go to competitions for the indoor season and actually go and chase some of these classifications.
And just to be able to be handed back more badges as well, to know that these are the badges I've earned as well.
Exactly. It's very important for especially the kids. I mean, we as a club, we don't give awards out until the AGM. We make a big song and dance of it at the AGM. All our awards, the trophies for the club league and whatnot get handed out at that. So we do tend to try and get the juniors to come along, so they can be celebrated the achievements that they've got through that year. Other clubs might do it differently, where they just give them out, as and when they get it. But I think for me, as a secretary at the club, I would much prefer to make a big, massive song and dance about an achievement like this, where they've actually gone after something and been able to actually achieve that as well.
That's something I'm trying to get going. We've not had a chance to actually build it in yet to our NBA, but something I'm trying to move towards as well, where we celebrate all the successes that we've had. In the manner you do at Wigan, I'm working towards working in that sort of capacity as well.
Okay, so let's just go over a bit more detailed on what the actual requirements are for these. So they are broken down into the 3 tiers and then sub tiers within that. So our tiers are now the Archer tier, Bowman tier, and Master Bowman tier. Within those, they are broken down. So the Archer tier is the indoor Archer tier 1, 2, and 3. Obviously, with 1 being the highest. Likewise, for the Bowman, you've got indoor Bowman 1, 2, and 3. Again, the first tier being the highest, the third tier being the lowest, and then you've got the indoor Master Bowman and indoor Grandmaster Bowman in the Master Bowman tier. So, how do we get these tiers, Nye? What do we need to achieve in order to actually get them?
So for indoor, so well, sorry, this is me staring at. I've come back from the club making some stands, so my brain's still kicking into gear. Yeah, so we need 10 dozen for the archer tier. We need 10 dozen arrows that can be shot at anywhere. For the bowman and master bowman tiers, 15 shots anywhere. Oh no, so not anywhere. A competitive event, but for the master bowman and grandmaster bowman, this has to be a record status competition. And then on the Archery GB website, we have the files, the underpinning tables, where you can see what scores you need to hit. And we can put a link to this in the program notes.
Yeah, I will make a point of that. The email that went out from Archery GB containing these links, unfortunately, the links were all broken. Hopefully, they will get updated rather quickly. But for those of you that are trying to find it on the Archery GB website, hopefully the link that we're going to put in our show notes will help you out there.
And then what we do is, so we'll take, just for an example, we'll use recurve men, which is my category. You'd go across and let's say I've shot 520 in competition. That's hope on my part. I go across, and that would be say for a Portsmouth, so 520 on a Portsmouth. I'd go across, and then I find boundaries, and that would put me in the Bowman 3 category, meaning that was 5 dozen arrows towards my Bowman 3 score. And then it would just be a case of repeating that again to be able to, in the competition, to get Bowman 3 category.
So they just want to have a quick shout out to archerygeekery.co.uk. They aren't actually a sponsor of this podcast. We just wanted to give them a shout out. So they are an absolutely fantastic tool, especially if you're out on the shooting line and you want to have a quick look up at your classification tables. That's archerygeekery.co.uk. So they've got a couple of tools on there, and one tool that I particularly like is if you know your handicap, you can convert your handicap into a different round. So, for example, and just bear with me a moment, my PB for a Portsmouth is 541. So I can put that into the tool, and then I can figure out what I would expect to get on a different round. So let's have a look at a WA18. Which should be
in the mid 520, mid to low 520s, I presume.
Well, it's saying 513 for this, so I'm not actually sure what's going on there. I think I might have put the wrong round in. But yeah, so 513. Because obviously it's a smaller face, isn't it, for the WA18?
Still a respectable score as well.
So let's have a look at a Worcester 5 spot. So 269 for a Worcester 5 spot. To be fair, looking at my Worcester PBs, that's not that far off. So
532 for a Portsmouth.
So if you shot a Worcester, you would be shooting around 257, according to your handicap for your PB. That is obviously.
Yeah, so 535 PB would, which would be what would that translate to?
259 on a Worcester.
I'd take that.
So my point is, give these guys, head on over to archerygeekery.co.uk and use the tools on there. They've also got an absolutely fantastic mobile-friendly table section. They have actually updated this now to you have the indoor classification tables on there. So if you go into the classification as you normally would and pick your particular section on the mobile friendly tables, it will bring up, if you scroll down to the bottom, the provisional scores, which obviously haven't been updated necessarily, but I think they do align with the indoor scores that we've had from Archery GB now. So that's a great little tool. Just thought I'd give those guys a shout out. Is there anything else you want to add to this episode, Nye?
I think we've managed to give everything a good talking over there and a good review. And I'm actually quite happy with how these classifications look as well. It also gives me something to aim for in the competition season now indoors, so that I can try and get Bowman 3.
Okay, and I think I'm going to be going for something this year as well. I keep saying I want to just get high. I want a Bowman score, so I think that's what I'm going to go for this time. I'm already at Bowman level according to the equivalency table, so chasing one just involves a couple of competitions.
We've got to make sure we do it now, mate.
Yeah, definitely. It's on the podcast, so I have to go and do it now.
Yeah,
so let's review that at the end of indoor season and see if I actually achieved it.
Which one are we going to? Shall we say for March's episode?
Yeah, why not? So
we've got to hold ourselves accountable in March's episode. Then that we're both going to have Bowman tier classification.
Yeah, let's do it. So, guys, if you are following the podcast, make sure you subscribe. Obviously, it does help us out a lot. Follow us on Instagram and on Facebook. And if you look in our link tree, you can actually join the community, the Unstrung Archery community, which is where we record the podcast, may I add. If you want to come over and say hi, we are on Discord, and the link is in our link tree, which is in the show notes. So that's a wrap, folks. We've reached the end of this bonus episode of Unstrung Archery. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the new classifications. Stay tuned for our next episode, which, as of recording, that'll be the episode with Helen Brown, even though we have already recorded that. And the one after that is with the lovely Zara Longland. So we've got some great content coming up for you guys. Make sure you subscribe, and we'll see you again soon.
See you soon, everybody.
Before we sign off, we want to hear from you guys, our amazing listeners. If you have any questions, stories, or insights you'd like to share, we'd love to feature your voice on our next episode. Just hit that recording button on your phone or computer and send your voice clip to us. You could be part of the conversation. Plus, we are building a vibrant archery community on our Discord server. It's the perfect place to connect with fellow archers, share your experiences, and stay updated on all things Unstrung Archery. You'll find the links to both our voice submission platform and our Discord server on our link tree or in the episode description below. Your voice matters, and we can't wait to have you join the discussion. Until next time, keep those questions coming and stay safe in your archery journey.